Washington Justice fans, what is up, and welcome to Week 3 Match Day 2. The Washington Justice taking on the Toronto Defiant. Our friends up north coming for a smackdown. My name is Fiasco alongside Courtside King. We're all friends here. We're all part of the Justice family, so you can call us John and Joey as well. Thank you so much for tuning in to the official co-stream here on the Washington Justice YouTube channel. Just a little housekeeping first. We'll get it out of the way here. If you are looking for Overwatch League tokens, which you should be, you should have your account linked to your YouTube account. Make sure you have the main stream up in another tab. Just put it off to another tab. Come back and hang out with the rest of the Justice fam here on the official co-stream. That way you can still collect your in-game tokens and you can still cheer on the Justice to hopefully what's going to be a 4-0 start for the season. Joey, I am so hyped for today's matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think today might be a little bit of a tougher test for the Justice than yesterday with Boston, but overall they look solid against the Uprising. They did drop Kings Row, but overall a 3-1 victory is a good one to go home with.
A strong 3-1 victory. In fact, it feels like that's just what we're good at, is 3-1. Every single match so far this season has been 3-1. I'm not complaining. Who wouldn't love a 3-0 victory? But 3-1 is the next best thing. So the Justice coming out just absolutely clicking on all cylinders, regardless of what they're doing, regardless of what comp. They are absolutely just taking it to everyone. And Boston, you know what, Joey, I'll give Boston some credit. They came out, they were prepared, they were ready to go. That 3-1 scoreline was, it felt a lot closer than 3-1 against the Uprising. Not going to lie, had my hands a little sweaty for that last one. I'm sitting here watching it, and it's like, really want the Justice to win. But it really came down to some amazing, great team play and amazing play from Mag, especially on Havana, where he literally bullied Boston in their spawn. It was absolutely fantastic, just swinging the hammer of justice from Reinhardt all over Boston's faces. It was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Our tank line yesterday in particular was phenomenal. Mag playing the Winston really effectively, playing the Reinhardt very well. Fury as well with the Sigma was unstoppable, it felt like. Overall, they were just clicking on all cylinders. The heals were coming through from the supports. The DPS always getting damage down. Regardless of who's in there, it feels like they're very effective for the Justice. So all around a good match yesterday, and hopefully it translates over to today as well.
Absolutely. So with that, we're going to throw it over to Watchpoint. They are breaking down today's matchup. So we'll throw it over to the desk, and we'll be right back on the other side once they are done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mag has been incredible so far this season, and now he's going up against Sado, who's become like an elite main tank in the league. He established himself early on in Philadelphia Fusion, now moving over to the Toronto Defiant. And the Toronto Defiant are really treating Sado as an elite superstar as well. He receives about 20% more healing than any other Winston in the league. So that tells you how many resources they're investing into Sado. It is crucial that he performs at a high level today because of how many resources he's getting from the team, but also because he's up against Mag, like we talked about. I mean, Mag is an incredible main tank. He knows how to play Winston at a very high level. So now's the time for Sado to really prove it to us on the new Toronto Defiant roster that he can become a focal point of this team and carry the Toronto Defiant to some crucial victories against top teams like the Washington Justice. I'm looking out for Sado today. I think he's going to be a very important player on the Defiant.
All right, I mean, this is a very important match for the Washington Justice. It's time for Crunch Time presented by Cheesy Groups. And with the Melee qualifiers almost coming to an end, this is it. Washington Justice need to secure this win in order to actually qualify for the knockouts. And all they need to do is just win. Again, all they need to do. That's all that Florida needed to do as well, But here we are very, very shortly after. So this is currently the clinch scenario for them, and they will secure the first seed. And that's what you want to do. You want to be on that first seed because you do want to avoid the mini-boss, the San Francisco Shock, because they are angry, and you do not want to meet them right away, right?
Very angry.
Very angry.
Very angry.
Like,
Very, very
not
angry.
like that.
Yep, good
Now,
name.
gentlemen, yeah, it is a good meme. We're living for that stuff here on our Watchpoint desk. That's it already from our game break. True. Speaking of casters, segue. We do have Vicky and Joss standing by once again. Maybe this time it's going to be a longer match than what felt like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I kind of hope so. That was also the most godlike segue I've ever seen, by the way. Excellent.
Yeah, very smooth.
Excellent stuff.
Thank you.
It was as smooth as Shock's gameplay last map, I'll say that. I'm pretty nervous if I were you. I mean, if you woke up from a coma right now and you'd see Toronto Defiant and Washington Justice both with perfect scorelines currently, yeah, I'd be a bit concerned. But, you know, here we are, 2021.
Yeah, you're not dreaming out here. Defiant and Justice, they're the two teams that you have to keep your eyes out for. If Defiant win, though, this time around, they're going to be finding themselves in the May Melee Knockout Tournament. So, Justice, they have just as much on the line, guys. And while we get started, I want to say thank you guys so much from Watchpoint. We're going to take it away from now. And Washington's Justice, this is their opportunity to land that
All
first.
right, so we'll go ahead and kick it back here real quick before we head on into map 1. So everything's on the line right there, Joey. The number 1 seed for the Washington Justice on the line with a win today against Toronto. Like the desk was saying, you want to be that number 1 seed. That is a massive, massive advantage going into the knockout rounds. And again, you mentioned it before. This is going to be the toughest matchup, at least in our opinion, and really record-wise. Here, they're just one spot below the Justice in the standings already. They're in 3rd place in the West, right behind the Justice. This is a really close matchup, and a lot of people think this one has the chance to go the distance.
I mean, it's still early on in the season, so undefeated only means so much. For us Justice fans, it means a lot, but for Toronto, only sitting at 2-0, they haven't faced too many opponents as of yet. So again, it could go the distance. It could be a 3-2. It could be a 3-1, but I have no doubt it will be the Justice ending on top, as they have in every match so far. This team's phenomenal, and again, as you said, John, that top seed, that is huge. Going into any tournament, whether it's sports or esports, it usually means buys. It usually means playing lower level opponents or lower tier opponents. You definitely want to secure the number 1 seed here.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and toss it to the in-game stream. Check out the starting lineup for the Toronto Defiant. Toronto currently 2-0, tied for 3rd in the West. I believe they may actually have sole possession of 3rd in the West, with Florida losing prior to that. They have a 3-1 win over Vancouver, 3-2 win over Atlanta, both coming in week 1. They sat out in week 2, had a nice little week 2 bye. Not too shabby. The Justice off week 1, but playing in week 2 and week 3. So Toronto had plenty of time. They had plenty of time to sit back and watch the Justice. They had all of week 2 and yesterday for film on what this Justice team can do. Now we'll take a look at our starting lineup for the Washington Justice. Decay, Assassin, Mag, Fury, Bebe, and Closer. Your starting 6 today for the match against Toronto. Again, that number 1 seed for the Melee on the line. And Joey, this is a roster stacked of veteran star power and rookies that are absolutely popping off. We'll touch on it again. Mag and Assassin, they're not playing like rookies, especially Mag. Again, Rookie of the Year candidate. So far has my vote through 3 weeks. Definitely Rookie of the Year so far. Still a long season to go. But if you have rookies popping off like veterans, and then you have star players like Decay being the ultimate teammate in this lineup as well, I feel like the sky is the limit for this Washington Justice team.
Yeah, absolutely. So much talent on here. And like you said, the pairing of rookies with veterans, it also allows the team to grow throughout the season as that veteran knowledge is kind of disseminated into those new rookies, as well as those new rookies continuing to step up. A similar lineup to what we've been seeing here and there. You do have Assassin starting at DPS. Sometimes that's Jerry, sometimes that's Assassin. But overall, quite a bit of flexibility there. As far as the overall team, though, we're similar to seeing this comp. We've seen it quite a few times. I'm excited to see what they bring here on map 1.
Map 1 will be Oasis.
Looks like Oasis, Anubis, Blizzard World, Dorado, and Nepal today.
Solid start here as well. Chat, you're making me hungry. We're talking about cheese. We're talking about crackers. We're talking about oatmeal. I am hungry for some justice today, Joey. I'm hungry for the Washington Justice to go 4-0. And I have a feeling there is going to be plenty of justice being served to our friends up north in Toronto today.
That is the hope, and it looks like it could be on the forecast if this Justice team can continue to play as successfully as they have so far. A really strong game 1 up against a pretty good Dallas Fuel team. Not as Justice good, but overall pretty good. We do have a few other wins in there, Boston being the latest yesterday. So now bringing up against the Defiant, probably our toughest match of this week, but still a very winnable match for a team as strong as the Justice.
And don't worry, Justice fans, that stat at the bottom of your screen right now is very misleading. A 3-0 victory for Toronto back in week 24 of 2020. That is misleading because this is a completely different team. So those stats that they like to throw up there have some faulty facts in there. So we're not going to take that to heart too much. But again, should not underestimate this Toronto Defiant team. 2-0 to start the season. Especially that win over the Atlanta Reign. That's a very impressive win for them. 3-1 win over Vancouver. They match what the Justice did, as both teams now starting to come out here on the first point of Oasis.
Everything getting started off. It looks like we're going to run a double bubble to get things started today. Assassin with a little bit. We've seen the Echo come here and there. He's played quite a few different champions, but it is going to be the Echo to kick things off.
Toronto, Michelle taking down Assassin. Both teams fighting for that early control on the point. The Justice are there first. 3 players on. And they will get the early cap. Now they'll play defense for Toronto. Toronto will now look to take that away. We'll see how long the Justice can hold on to it. Bebe on Ana, one of his signature characters, helping keep that attacking line alive. Maybe we'll take some shots here and there, try to pick up some kills. Every good support tries to do that as well.
Really solid healing coming out there from Bebe, keeping Assassin's Echo alive. It got a little low there for a bit, but the Justice defending pretty well here to kick things off. Already up to 30%.
Magan taken out by the McCree. Asu with a really good shot there on Mag. He'll come back after that respawn. Toronto looks to possibly cap this point. Washington still trying to defend. The Deadeye is ready to go. They'll have to be careful. Toronto will go ahead and take the point after 45% ticks by for the Justice. They'll have to regroup as Assassin drops down along with Bebe.
Yeah, if you're the Justice, you're totally fine with this. You're right around 50%, just shy of it at the moment. Plus, you have ultimates coming up. Decay with an ult ready. Bebe has the Nano ready. A number of other ultimates just a little bit behind as well. So the Justice will have plenty to work with to try for a retake.
Nicest on that Tracer again. That pulse grenade. That pulse bomb is definitely a game changer. We saw that in the match against the Uprising. As really, it feels like that ultimate was the MVP of several points there on Volskaya Industries. Decay taking out the support line as well. The Baguette drops down. Mag starting to go off on Winston once again. The Justice will recap after 48% goes for Toronto.
Yeah, and again, still feeling pretty good. Assassin with the ult up, Decay with the ult up. They didn't have to use that in the last fight. Closer has the ult up as well. On the opposing side, you do have Brigitte's ult up, and you have Zarya's ult coming up. Tracer pretty close behind. So you're going to have quite a few ults, but it's about even on both sides as far as ult economy.
A speedy recovery.
Now Toronto looking to play from the side. The Justice going from above, holding that high ground. Assassin on that mid part of the point up high, trying to peek around and find out where Toronto is hiding. Again, that pulse bomb is up once again. An Assassin taking the form of Winston. Will use the ultimate as well, starts knocking the players around. The grab time will come out, hold them back just for a bit. But Decay and Mag both taking down players. Closer getting in on the action as well. And that is going to be a secure on point A for the Washington Justice. A strong team fight to close out the first point.
Okay, we've got to talk about how good the Washington Justice is with this double bubble comp. We saw it there. We even had 2 Winstons there because of the Echo ult coming out. In the end, they just time it so effectively, whether it be the Winston bubble, whether it be Zarya's shield bubble on top of the Winston. It just chains so well together. And a lot of teams are running this comp. A lot of teams are running Rush as well. When it comes down to running double bubble, though, I think there are very few teams as good, if even as close to as good as the Justice so far this season.
The double bubble meta or the double Winston meta when you pull out Echo as well. 1 Winston's hard enough. 2 just seems unfair, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes a zoo with so many gorillas jumping around, and those gorillas have shields that they can deploy themselves. They have a shield coming in from the Zarya. You have amazing healing coming out from Bebe game after game. It just becomes very hard to overcome this team.
Toronto going up top, looking to hold onto that high ground behind the point first. Sato gets slept from behind. The point is now open. The Justice and Toronto looking to contest. See who'll get the point first. Looks like it will go in favor for Toronto. The Justice trying to contest. Fury from the side looking for that sharp angle. Strong heels coming out from closer. Toronto will cap it first to start out point B. Nice now on Sombra. We're seeing Sombra played a little bit more as a off-meta flex pick, kind of. Not in the traditional double bubble or even rush tactic, but it's kind of a side pick to kind of make almost like a wild card there, Joey.
Yeah, a wild card that can have a huge impact on the game as well with the EMP. Sombra's ult is one of those most game-changing ults out here. You get behind the line, and then you end up popping that, take out a couple ults of the enemy team. It almost guarantees a win for your team in that fight.
Okay, time to watch. Decay has that pulse bomb ready to go. Gets that recall and the health back. Decay waiting for his moment. Has a chance, gets stunned from behind with the flashbang. That will make him hold on to the ult a little bit more. Toronto now over 50% on this point so far, and the Justice will have to go back and look to regroup, as that fight did not go in their favor. Again, taking a look at those ultis. 4 on the side of the Justice, 3 on the side of Toronto, with the D.Va ulti coming up quick.
Yeah, and this fight could go either way. You have the Zarya ulti on the side of the Justice, so they could easily play around, especially comboing it with the Tracer Bomb. On the side of the Defiant, though, you have that Reinhardt ult up that could turn things around.
Mag gets charged off to the side. They've actually survived that just a bit now. Decay still holding on to the ulti as the Justice will finally cap the point. 89% completed for Toronto. Mag going primal, smacking the Reinhardt around all over the place, is taking it to the front line of Toronto. Lastro will be taken out as well. Mag needing that healing, and the healing coming in clutch from that support line. It's a big win for the team fight for the Washington Justice. Assassin popping off in Decay, both picking up double kills, holding on to that point.
So much went well for the Justice there, but Mag staying alive might have been the most impressive part. Able to get that Winston ult off, really disrupt that point, end up pushing forward for the capture, and then again, the healing coming in from Bebe and Closer, able to get the job done, keeps Mag alive, and allows the Justice to regain this point. 40% now ticking up. Toronto, rather, has 89%, so still a little ways ahead, but the Justice with clear control at the moment.
The Justice so far this season have been very good at playing defense once they have possession of a point. Very rarely do they let it go, and as I say that, Toronto's already contesting that point. The EMP is ready to go. Hisu looking for the moment to jump in. Has Deadeye looking for that high ground. Looking for several players. Justice finally find a way to get behind that back wall, and that is going to be a waste. Or would it be a waste? Looks like they may have just pushed the Justice off. They have a great chance to cap and take point B.
Yeah, no kills off of that for the Defiant, but it does push the Justice off the point and allows Toronto to recapture. They're at 99% here. Overtime is ticking. The Justice moving back to the point now.
Could be the last team fight here. The Justice have to win this if they want to get possession back and take map 1. Lastro on Baptiste. Healing and doing damage for Toronto. The 3 of them are already down. Fury and Bebe drop for the Justice. The Justice are trying to hold on. Mag dropping down from above on the Winston. The Ryan ult misses. They'll have to back off, and the Justice have a great chance to recap the point. Just have to get the Hammond off, and that ball got sent flying. And the Justice, after Toronto collects 99%, have regained possession of the point, and they're looking to hold for the win.
The Justice regained control, but Mag had to pop the ulti in that fight, and so did Decay's Tracer, so they lost a couple there trying to make it happen. On the side of the Defiant, it looks like they're going to have the Lucio ult up and maybe the Sombra ult. Those could be game changers. We do have a Sombra ult of our own, though, for the Justice as well.
The Assassin will pop that EMP, catches 4 on the side of Toronto as the Justice push up. They don't even want Toronto to get a chance to come back. Decay popping off Closer, picking up a kill as well. I believe that was 3 for Decay, as the Justice will hit 99% in Toronto. Now in overtime, starting to tick off. They are struggling to get back. Fury with the grav ready to go. Wants to hold them off. Hammond put off to the side.
That sleep by Bebe was huge there, taking out Wrecking Ball, one of the hardest champions to clear right at the end of a point. 99% still in overtime here for the Justice Control.
The Graviton used to hold them back. Assassin, Fury, Decay all picking up kills as well. Overtime is going to tick down, and the Washington Justice have taken map 1 2 points to 0.
Yeah, Toronto giving them a little bit more of a fight on that second point on point B, John, but not enough to hold Justice back. In the end, Justice is served once again. That is a map 1 victory here for the Justice, another 2-0. If we had to pick one type of map that the Justice have shown they're the strongest at, John, it's got to be Control. They have just absolutely dominated on these Control maps so far. I don't think they've dropped a single one so far this season.
I believe that is 100% accurate, Joey. That is a great fact to point out there. The Justice very, very strong on these types of maps. And again, Toronto still undefeated, 2-0, a very solid team. Again, taking down Atlanta, a tough Atlanta team. So, they're not on the same level as a Boston. They're not on the same level as Vancouver. But, it's a team that's definitely going to challenge this Justice team. And it was nice to see the Justice kind of adapt to what Toronto was throwing at them, especially Mag, again, for a rookie. Throwing Anna into traffic. How rude. How rude.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by
Yeah, definitely a good map to kick things off on, John. We're chasing that 4-0. Us as Justice fans, we're waiting for it. We're sitting at 3-0, a good display against Boston yesterday. What do you want to see before a tournament? Something like the May Melee? You want to see another dominant display. You want to take that undefeated record in. You want to try to lock up that number 1 seed, and getting the job done so far here on map 1 is the Washington Justice, as we fans expect from them. Gotta love it to kick things off today.
All right, so map 1 in the books. So far, so good. The journey to 4-0 feels pretty good so far after one map. Joe, let's go ahead and take a look at map 2. We're heading over to Anubis, and it's going to be a very, I think it's going to be interesting. I believe one of the early nicknames for Anubis was Draw Anubis, but thankfully draws aren't a thing anymore in Overwatch. But it's going to be a very interesting map. We'll see how the Justice come out here, and they have a very good chance to go in halftime being up 2-0 once again.
Yeah, definitely a good chance. Now, Anubis, we did struggle on before. I believe we lost this one in a previous match. I want to say it wasn't Dallas. Who did we lose Anubis to?
I believe it was Vancouver.
I think it might have been Vancouver.
Yeah.
I think you might be right. So that was a little bit of a tougher one. We did take point A pretty effectively on offense, and we defended decently well on point A, but point B ended up being a lot of trouble for us. I believe it was a May wall that ended up being the difference. They continued to lock it into the side room, and the Justice were not able to move back onto that point. So hopefully they come in with a little bit of a different strategy here moving on to Anubis.
Absolutely. So we'll take a quick moment here to let's give you a heads up on when the next co-stream will be happening here on the Washington Justice YouTube channel. So the co-stream will not be happening during the May Melee tournament that starts, I believe, this Sunday. So you'll have to tune into the official Overwatch League stream for the May Melee, but have no fear. After the May Melee is done and that 1 week rest for all teams, the Justice co-stream will be back on May 22nd. That is a Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you check your time zones accordingly. And Joey and I will be back here with you for another fantastic Justice co-stream as we look forward to continuing on the road to Justice towards the end of the season. Joey, everything's happening in Hawaii this year. I want to go to Hawaii. I don't think they're going to send us to Hawaii. I think they'll still stick us back here. But I would absolutely love to go to Hawaii. I think it's smart why they're going to Hawaii in terms of just connection and ping for that tournament. But boy, I've never been to Hawaii. I would love to go to Hawaii and cast some Overwatch and hang out. I think it'd be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Hawaii is a great vacation spot. Personally, before we travel all the way there, I just want to travel to a Justice victory first, John. 1-0 is a great way to start that. We've talked a little bit about Anubis. I believe we ran Rush as the composition there last time, switching from kind of that Justice signature double bubble that we've seen a lot. With the Rush composition, we do end up with Mag on Reinhardt. He showed us how effective he could be yesterday, though. We saw it come out on Havana. It was very, very strong pick for him. It wasn't the strong...
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League. Sent by IBM.
All right, I think you're back now. Sorry about that. Looks like we had a little connection issue there off to the side. But you want to finish your point about the rush comp?
Oh, I was just going to say, typically we ran a rush comp rather on this map last time. We saw the Reinhardt come out from Mag yesterday on Havana. It was much stronger compared to what we saw on Anubis. I think we still run the Reinhardt here on Anubis, but maybe we switch up what Fury plays instead. I believe we ran Diva last time, and while it's super effective here, we have seen Sigma come out and be a very good pick for him. It's not as meta, let's say, on Anubis, but it could be a way to shake things up a little bit for the Justice if they get stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. The Washington Justice looking for different ways to win. Kind of what we saw at the end of last season. Not being afraid to go outside the meta, trying to find different ways of confusing the other team. And we're seeing that once again. Taking a look here at the current power rankings by IBM, Watson tanks. Joey, that tank line of Mag and Fury. The rookie and the vet teaming up. Again, a lot of people had this tank line circled as one of the strongest tank lines in the entire league, and we're seeing them here break into the top 10. But I don't know if they're going to show it or not. But something else I want to pick up here for you is that for the top 10 of supports, Bebe and Closer in there as well in the same identical spots. Bebe 7th in the power rankings, Closer 10th in the power rankings for support players as well. This entire roster just gelling and playing so well together, and it's showing not only in the power rankings but in their record as well. Starting out 3-0 and 1-0 so far here in this matchup against Toronto. All right, second map coming up. Anubis, a lot to look out here for, like Joey was saying. On this assault map, this may be the one map that the Justice have a little bit of a struggle on. Like you were saying on Anubis, we saw a better performance in the second matchup of the season here for the Washington Justice, but even against Boston yesterday, they seem to struggle a little bit. We saw that same struggle on Kings Row. They ended up losing the Kings Row map yesterday against Boston. So it's going to be interesting to see, how this team is evolving on this type of map. It's a very unique map, and if you continue to struggle on this style of map, it essentially means even the hybrid map you will continue to struggle on as well. We need to get better as a team just to dominate these points, and again, this may be one of the harder maps to do that on.
And we've seen them do it well, too. Let's not discount them for that. Like Hanamura, for example, they did a very good job capturing effectively. They did an amazing job defending. They did give up point A pretty quickly, but holding point B up against, I believe, is the Dallas Fuel in that one. They held them for almost 6 minutes on Hanamura B. So we've seen them play it very well, and we've seen them struggle a bit with it here and there, too. We'll see how it ends up on Anubis here on the second run. Again, we did lose this last time, I believe, to the Vancouver Titans. I think we do come back. We bounce back with a little bit of a different strategy this time and end up taking it against the Defiant.
It looks like the Justice will go on the attack first. Toronto playing defense. Again, a mark of a great team is continuing to build upon success and learning from mistakes. Fury jumping up, trying to gain some info. Peeking over that ledge, finding out where Toronto is. Looks like they'll go to the standard high ground. And the Justice will go off into the right alcove. They're going to go to the right side of the map. Last time they were on this map, they constantly forced that left side.
Yes, they did, John. And this is what I want to see. I want to see innovation. I want to see different ways of tackling it. If you're not going to change up the comp, let's change it up a little bit in some other ways. Now, I believe the Sombra is a change as far as comp goes as well. And I want to say we ran a Birgitta instead of a Moira last time, too. So a few different changes coming out, but also changing up the pathway. Regardless if it works or not, I think it's good that they're trying new things. They're being innovative. And so far, it's working pretty well.
Decay back on a signature tracer. Going for that high ground, Joe. I do like that change up quite a bit. Toronto staying home, trying to bring that fight to the Justice. The Justice are already on the point. Toronto still staying up top. And it's just until now. It's already been 2/3 of the way, almost a full 100% of the way on the point. And Toronto took forever to get back to the point. And the Justice, that was almost too easy on point A.
The Justice caught them really far off, and now that gives them a huge advantage moving in here to B. You ended up with 3 players for the Defiant falling pretty late there on A, so they're going to respawn in time because the spawn is practically right next to the point here, but at the same point, it's going to allow the Justice to set up, and you can have plays like this happen where Decay can already get behind the front line.
Oh, Decay is stalking from behind, has that pulse bomb ready to go, looking for that big play. Decay with that clutch recall. The Justice already 1 tick down on the point. The EMP ready to go as well. Catches 4. The EMP from Assassin. And Toronto's starting to drop.
Let's see it in chat, guys. The Justice moving up on tick 2, possibly here. Mag popping the ultimate. Closer popping the ultimate. The Justice are dominating, continuing to send the Defiant back to their spawns.
Smacking Toronto around like a stuffed animal you don't want anymore. Get off the point, the Justice are saying.
Absolutely beautiful start here on point B. They haven't been able to get the second tick. They're very, very close. They might get pushed off of here, but you've already got 1 tick down, and you still have a ton of time to work with here. 4:24 left on the clock for the Justice.
And Hisu has that EMP ready to go on the side of Toronto. Baby will have Coalescence up momentarily for that next fight. Assassin as well will have the EMP ready for him as well.
Yeah, you're going to have a double EMP up because we have Hisu having it as well for the Defiant. So overall, quite a few Sombra ult possibilities here for both sides. I think it's partly going to depend on who pops it here first. If the Justice can get it off first and get an effective one off, they might be able to push them off and send a couple back to spawn in time to finish off this capture.
Look at that. Hisu just waiting there for that transponder for Assassin to come back. Couldn't get the kill off. Assassin moving around quite well. Now Assassin's going to go off to the right, looking to use that EMP. Toronto trying to keep an eye out where the Justice are hiding, possibly to initiate that team fight. They're so close to getting that second tick on that first fight. Nicest has the pulse bomb as well, ready to go. A lot of ults. 4 now on the side of Toronto, 2 on the side of the Justice. Mag pretty close to getting his ultimate back as well. Fury getting close as well. Closer, sound barrier should be coming up as well. They just have to hold off a little bit more as Justice push off to the left side of the point again. Nicest looking for a possible play with that pulse bomb.
Yeah, this sound barrier is going to be huge if Closer can get an effective one out, because we're going to have to watch around that Hisu Sombra EMP. If Closer's ult comes out before the EMP, it might be okay the way it works out here, but both sides going to use quite a few ults in this next fight.
Nicest backing off on Tracer, still looking for a play. The Justice contesting on the point. EMP coming out, catches 3 for Assassin. Fury slept on the point. The pulse bomb won't catch anybody from Nicest. So both teams coming in having a lot of ultimates ready for that fight, and pretty much came out as a big stalemate. Not much happening.
Yeah, it was interesting. We didn't see Hisu pop the EMP on his Sombra there. We also didn't see Closer use Lucio's ult either. So the fact that Sound Barrier is still up as well. You have Fury's ult now up as Michelle, so 2 Diva ults available. Mag has an ult, and we've seen the Justice play around Mag's ult quite a bit. That could be what they're waiting for here.
Decay recalling, closing in on 50% for that pulse bomb, getting pushed back by Toronto, looking to go back in. Gets the melee kill. Mag is taking a quick little sleep mid-game. Decay is pushing the Ana back into the spawn. Mag dropping down on point. The Justice trying to close this out. They're so close to that second tick once again.
Yeah, trying to keep them in the corridor there. Nice stick coming out from Decay. If they can keep pushing them back to that corridor, they might be able to turn this around.
So close to avoid the pulse bomb. Trying to get back on point. They are so close to getting that second tick. Oh, it feels like it was like 1% away. Closer dropping down the sound barrier, keeping the Justice alive for what could be the final fight. 30 seconds to go. Decay picking up the double kill as well. Assassin popping off. That is going to be a big team win as they look to hold Toronto off the point. They have that crucial second tick mark here on point B. Now they just have to hold him off. Decay has the pulse bomb ready to go again. Sticks Brigitte, and he will drop as well. So close to capping point B. Just have to get that last player off. The Justice have to touch the point once again. And this self-destruct right on the point. Toronto's going to have to back off. It's a double self-destruct. Final fight here. Can the Justice close it out as it goes into overtime? And they will. It is a full completion on Anubis for the Washington Justice. It took the entire time, but it is a full 2 caps. And now Toronto will have to be able to do the same thing. And Joey, if there's one thing the Washington Justice are great at, and we brought it up here a little bit earlier, is their defensive play on these styles of maps. We talked about it on Hanamura, again with that amazing 6-minute hold. Toronto's got a tall order going up against them. I mean, the Justice were not relenting at all on the attack, and Toronto can expect that same kind of pressure from the Justice now on defense.
Absolutely. And we also saw them change some things up. They chose a different corridor there as far as going for point A. It ended up working very effectively. They ran a very different team comp than what we saw them run against Vancouver. And again, they did take that L against Vancouver on this map. They ended up winning the series 3-1. Now you come into this, they're changing things up on offense. I'm curious if they make some additional changes on the defensive side as well to kind of catch Toronto off guard.
A very solid performance on the attack for the Justice. The Ashe, Echo, Winston, Zarya, Ana, and Brigitte coming out on the side of the Justice. It'll be a mirror matchup going up against Toronto's comp. They still have time to change. Attacker's advantage, if you'd so call it. Toronto having to cap all points here in order not to drop the map.
And it looks like this is going to stay. So that is going to be an Ashe that we did not see in the first round, I believe, for either side.
Toronto taking their time. It looks like they may try to mimic that same play that Justice had by going off to the high ground to the left of that initial choke point. It's going to be an Echo air battle, and Assassin's going to get the better. Toronto still trying to get through that initial choke point. Winston kind of harassing them back, now going up top of that choke point, looking for a little vision on what Toronto's planning, but Toronto really taking their time here. Washington very aggressive when they were on the attack here. They just wanted to push in, and it really caught Toronto off guard, but now Toronto just taking it slow and easy, it feels like.
The Justice also playing this defense very different than we've seen a lot of teams. A lot of teams like to group up. They look for that. Well, offensively, most teams go from that left corridor. So you typically see defenses set up a lot in the middle there and look toward that side. Now, with this one in particular, the Justice are spread out quite a bit. They're not really giving up much room on the left. They're not giving up much room on the right. And now we even see them pushing out toward the spawn as well.
Yeah, and Decay just popping off on Ashe. It's a very strong hold for the Washington Justice. 2.5 minutes left in the time bank for Toronto. And Toronto really hasn't gotten past that first choke point. They have struggled.
Yeah, not at all. They're not getting much done here. You have an Echo ult getting close. You have Ana's Nano up for the side of the Defiant. Hisu might have Bob up here soon, but Decay can match the Bob. Fury already has the Zarya ult up. Bebe and Nano as well. So we're ahead in all the ultimates too. So whatever Toronto wants to throw at the Justice quickly have an answer for it.
Toronto now under 2 minutes left in their time bank, and they have not stepped foot on point A here in Anubis at all. Looks like they'll try to be a little bit more aggressive. Asado looks to jump in on the Winston, but quickly backs off again. Now we'll try to dive in onto the Ashe. We'll take Decay out. Toronto now starting to make moves. The Justice looking to hold strong on defense. As a lot of ults start to get popped now. Assassin picking up a double kill. Fury joining as well. Closer joining the kill parade. And Toronto's going to have to regroup. A strong defense again from the Washington Justice.
Yeah, it looked like he was starting to get a little bit dire there toward the end, but then we see Assassin pop off. We see Mag getting a kill. Closer and Bebe putting kills up on the board as well. Justice able to hold, and now only 1 minute left for Toronto to attack. That's potentially 1 or 2 more attacks on most maps. On this one, it's probably going to only end up being 1, as it takes quite a bit here to get onto A.
And Toronto has to play aggressive here, but the Justice just won't let them. Again, it's going to be Sato jumping in, pops the ulties, tries to smack the Justice players around. Took a really odd bounce there. Hits a post and gets thrown back into the side room. Not quite sure what he's doing there, but he's bouncing all the places that's not known as point A. Decay has Bob ready to go, waiting for the time to use it. Pops up. Throw down the dynamite, looking for that backline kill onto the supports. As Toronto under 30 seconds to go. And they are just struggling. The defense, my goodness.
Justice really holding it together here. Only 14 seconds left, and that clock continues to tick down. We see Michelle's ult up over there on the Zarya. Lastro getting very close for an Ana ult as well. But overall, Toronto, not too many tools to work with on this last push.
That last push happening right now. The Justice just have to hold. Toronto won't even get there. Anubis is closed for business as the Justice lock it down. What a defensive performance from the Washington Justice. Toronto couldn't figure out what in the world to do.
Toronto not even taking a single point, John. It's looking more and more like we're going to send them back up north with nothing potentially in their favor. The Justice looking dominant on the first map here of Oasis, going 2-0 there, then going 2-0 on Anubis here, not giving up a single capture. But I think the bigger thing, even not only the start of the series, but the fact that this was one of the worst maps we saw the Justice on in week 1. They had a very tough time against Vancouver on this map. They have turned it around. They brought creative strategies into attacking, and then they moved into a very different defensive setup, both in their hero selection as well as their placement of those heroes, and it worked out super effectively. So again, finding their weaknesses, analyzing them, and already make corrections week to week.
It is such an honor to watch this team from match to match. You can see the growth. You can see the maturity of these players, the chemistry coming together. As we take a look at the Justice on point B on their attack. It did take the entire time, but
The Overwatch League is brought
regardless,
to you by T-Mobile, America's
they were able
largest
to
and fastest
take point
5G
B. They took point A as well. And on defense,
with T-Mobile.
Toronto didn't have a chance. And Joey, I look, the old saying in traditional sports is defense wins championships. Defense just won Anubis. That was fan-freaking-tastic from what we just saw from the Justice. If they can take that same style of defense into the next map, into the hybrid map on Blizzard World, had to peek there real quick, I feel like they could close it out possibly in 3. If Toronto can't even cap a single point on Anubis, what makes you think that they can do it on Blizzard World, where there's even more higher ground for Mag on Winston to just jump down on top of him and destroy them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think the week-to-week improvement is what I love the most. Like, you're so early on in the season. Yes, this team's playing super well. Yes, you have people getting MVP votes like Decay. You have people being talked about for potential Rookie of the Year candidates like Mag and Assassin. Overall, this Justice team already looks so strong. And now with more weeks under their belt, they're going to synergize better. We're already seeing improvements on maps. Like I said, Anubis against Vancouver was one of their worst maps in week 1. Now coming out, already making these visible adjustments, already making these improvements. They're a scary team, a very scary team. And I mean, a lot of people are talking about the Shock going into Melee. The Shock, obviously, world champions multiple times. Don't sleep on this Justice team. They have the chance to lock down that #1 seed here, and they're looking good doing it.
I think Toronto is sleeping. I think someone needs to call up to Toronto real quick and see if they're awake, Joey. So, I mean, you know what? A lot of the critics out there, a lot of people on social media had this match circled, said, hey, out of all the matches today, this one could possibly go 5. Toronto, a very skilled team, very talented team. Again, they took Atlanta the full distance to 5. Atlanta is a very good team as well. They were able to pretty much lay Vancouver to bed like the Justice did as well. So, maybe that week off might be hurting Toronto. Is what I'm starting to think now, even though they had all that time to prepare. But how can you prepare for a team that is able to grow from their mistakes and learn and build upon their successes from match to match? I mean, it's another doubleheader. We're playing them back-to-back days, and the Justice are just like, I wanted to see this Justice team yesterday against Boston. That felt a lot closer than that 3-1 scoreline felt, but they are just coming out and dominating right now.
Yeah, they look very prepared for Toronto here. I don't know if they prepared differently between Boston and this matchup in particular, but at least for Toronto, they seem to have their number. They're coming out effectively. They're using different comps, which I think is nice too. You're getting a lot of that double bubble, but they're changing up a thing here or there. We've seen the Echo come out a little bit more, the Sombra come out a little bit more. So a few variations of that are changing things up. Brigitte, we've switched the supports around a little bit as well. I believe we had a Lucio come out in one of these maps. So looking at that, keeping things fresh, I think is helping them keep their opposition a little bit on guard. And so far, it's working through 2 maps as we're up 2-0.
Absolutely. Map 3 just around the corner. And a big friendly reminder, you're already watching the official Washington Justice co-stream, so you do know this. But at the end of today's match, at the post-match press conference, we will be joined, pending a win. We do have to throw it in there. Pending a win by the Washington Justice by a Justice player. And we have been told it will be the man, the myth, the legend on the support line. Bebe will be joining us at the end of today's match against Toronto. So definitely do not go anywhere. You are right where you want to be, right here, the home of the Washington Justice co-stream here on the Washington Justice YouTube channel. Bebe will be joining us at the end of the stream. You definitely want to watch that interview as well. All right.
I mean, Bebe has been phenomenal so far this year. Just to touch on it a little bit, in particular, some people don't notice this. Pre brought it up in our first interview after match 1 against Dallas. Bebe's ultimate usage has been super effective this season. We saw it on Hanamura. They had that 6-minute defense. It was a lot. I'm not going to give him all the credit, but there's a lot of credit to the nanos used by Bebe, holding them until just the moment when he needed to pop them, not feeling rushed on them, and ended up being a huge difference maker on that map.
Yeah, absolutely. So the support line that was doubted by the critics all over the Overwatch world, it's been popping off, and we'll get to hear from a main member. We heard from Closer back on the first match, so we'll hear from his partner Bebe today on that back line as well. Super excited for that post-game interview. We'll go ahead and throw it back in. Map 3 coming at Jerry, subbing in for Assassin. And Joey, I want to talk about Jerry real quick. We had the honor of having Jerry on the post-match press conference yesterday. Jerry is such a nice guy, a Washington Justice fan favorite. I mean, he went into that Boston series. He had it circled on his calendar. He wanted to take it to his former team for dropping him in the offseason. What was Boston's loss is the Washington Justice's treasure, and Jerry has just been popping off. I was so happy to talk with him, and he brought a nice insight into how this team really is starting to gel together and how it is a team goal to make the Washington Justice, what do you call it, the San Francisco Shock of the East? I want to be better than the San Francisco Shock, Jerry, and I think he does too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the big things. Whenever you have a player in a team, whether the player is dropped, whether the player decides to leave, there's sometimes hard feelings or sometimes not. There is always that little bit of a rivalry, though. You always want to go back and beat one another. Jerry able to accomplish that yesterday in the match up against the Uprising. But I think he's pretty fortunate, John. Like, moving from Boston, they're having a bit of a rough season. Going to the Justice looking like they could lock away the #1 seed here on Blizzard World. I think he came out of the better end of that trade.
And there you go, another irrelevant fact here. The only hybrid map that Justice played on in 2020 but never won, going 0-3. Again, a completely different roster, so don't let these stats get you down, Justice family, because, I don't know, I've got a great feeling. I just have a really good feeling after watching that play on Anubis. I'm not going to say it, but I feel very positive here going into Blizzard World. And the Justice will start out on defense first, which puts a lot of pressure onto Toronto to try to do something. And if they sit back and play that passive attack style again, I don't like their chances.
Well, that's a nice stat they decided to bring out. But how's the Justice on 2021 on this map? I believe we're 1-0 at the moment.
Thank you.
So that's nice that we want to see some 2020 stats. But us Justice fans, we know what it's real here. 2021, we are currently undefeated on this map, and hopefully we'll continue to keep that streak alive as Toronto looks to come in here. The Justice, we've seen them defend effectively on here. Mag's Wrecking Ball was actually super effective last time on this map. And Fury, once again, pulling out that Sigma that was unstoppable yesterday against Boston.
Is Sigma not wearing shoes still like a controversial topic, Joey? I can't remember. I know last year everyone was talking about it.
Yeah, we'll have to ask the observers to zoom in on that.
We'll have to take a look at his feet. We'll see how that's doing. All right, Mag breaking out that wrecking ball once again. Like Joey was saying, we'll see what Toronto does. Toronto's going to go the long way and attack from the backside. Definitely a different tactic here. And they're already trying to be more aggressive than what we saw on Hanamura. I'm sorry, on Anubis.
Yeah, I mean, for Toronto, they need to change something up. The Justice have been dominating all series long. Toronto just not finding any kind of answer. The only answer they're finding is getting Justice served in their face. And once again, it starts out here as Mag picks up a kill.
And that backside attack just not paying off for Toronto. You know, I give him credit for thinking outside the box, going for the backside attack, but it's just not working. It's just the defense from this Justice team is everywhere. They rotate, they communicate so well. Toronto has to figure something else out because what they're doing is not working. The Coalescence coming out for Lastro. Not going to do too much here in that team fight.
And you have ults popping up for the Justice as well. I believe Bob just came out for Jerry. Decay has an ult up. It's popping now. So Justice with quite a few ults to find answers here quickly.
Justice already pushing Toronto back. They're going to have to go back and regroup. Under 2 minutes to go already on defense for point A. And Toronto still cannot figure it out on attack. Toronto looking to regroup once again. They'll attack from the front this time. Jerry and the rest of the Justice sitting back trying to get more information which side they will rotate around with to go around to the left side. Moving on to the point. It's an all-out fight on the point once again. Nisus can't recall in time. He'll drop Jerry picking up the kill.
And nice trade there coming out from Jerry. We did see Fury fall down, and we eventually do see the change coming out as well. Sigma switched out for Diva. That's going to help a little bit here going back on this point. Quite a few ultimates being popped here for the Defiant to try to push the Justice off.
Absolutely. Toronto looking like they might secure the first tick, but the Justice get back just in time. They could hold them here. Hisu waiting to use that EMP. Will catch 3 players of the Justice. Actually, 4. Caught Fury there late. Hisu trying to do some damage. Nicest behind the lines as well. They'll get the first tick. They're looking for that second. They have 20 seconds to try to cap this point. And the
That's a big kill coming out on Sato as well. Hisu down 2. Quite a few players falling for the Defiant. A couple ults coming out. They do have a Diva ult to work with on Michelle. The Tracer ult also up over there, but the Justice with quite a few of their own.
Yeah, Mag trying to get back to point. May have been looking to possibly pop that ulti from Wrecking Ball. And Toronto will get that second tick. I don't think the Justice will get back here in time. No, they do. One player does get back to contest. All they have to do is hold through overtime. That Wrecking Ball ult does come out. That will help push Toronto off the point a little bit more. Decay looking to try to pop off. Wants to get Toronto off. They want to hold him here at point A. They don't even want to have to go to the hybrid part where they have to start pushing the cart. Decay with the pulse grenade ready to go. Waiting for that sound barrier to go away to use it. Comes in, puts it down. Can't catch anyone. Fury will pick up a kill though. Decay. And they could do it. They might possibly hold here. 3 players already down. 4 down for Toronto. They're starting to melt, and the Justice are going to hold on point A as the Lucio would drop. And what a defensive hold. Only 90% completed on point A.
John, you said it earlier. Defense wins championships. It hasn't won this one just yet, but that is one heck of a start to this map, Blizzard World. A lot of people able to capture point A here throughout Overwatch League. I wouldn't say it's one of the easier ones to capture, but we typically do see it captured, and then we move into a payload push. This one in particular, the Justice defying the Defiant the chance to even do that. Now as we'll switch sides, we'll see if the Justice can capture point A here and finish this off.
90.1% is all that is needed. I'm going to get technical here. and I think the Justice can do it. We saw that attack on Anubis. It was deadly on point A. Toronto didn't have a chance. We'll see.
Getting
Jerry.
a little replay there.
Yes.
A huge.
That was a beautiful hack because that EMP was coming out again. He did it on Anubis. He did it again here. Such a clutch play. Very aware, being able to read what Toronto was doing. Jerry, that is such a great play on back-to-back maps.
Yeah, that's a giant play coming out there from Jerry. Able to get that hack off, able to deny that EMP. That's just huge. It messes up the timing for the side of the Defiant. They're looking to play around that ultimate, not able to get it down when they wanted to. And that ended up being a huge difference maker there for the Justice.
Now Jerry coming out on that Widow, looking for that long-range pick attempt early. Jerry will quickly swap back to the Sombra. Toronto holding the high ground just to the left of that initial choke point up front. We'll see how aggressive the Justice are. Toronto struggled with that aggression last map. As that Maywall comes up, looks to block it off, but the Justice are already back on the point.
Yeah, very different defensive setup here. Toronto pushing up quite a bit with that Reinhardt shield, but it's allowing the Justice to get a few players back. Now, for Toronto, moving players back did not work out too well in their favor. For the Justice, it seems like they're sticking a bit more in a group as opposed to flanking, but knowing Decay, we will see that Tracer eventually go for some flanking plays.
Absolutely, and the touching that back point was enough to draw several of the Defiant players back to open up that initial choke point. Now the Justice looking to flank around from the side. Bebe ready to go. Again, Bebe will be joining us after the match on the post-match conference, so you'll definitely want to stick around for that. Mag back on that Winston. That was absolutely deadly.
Yeah, Max Winston, absolutely unreal. So far, playing very effectively. Takes out Hisu there with a nice little play, and it looks like the capture has begun.
Smacking players around the Justice have a great chance here. Decay with that pulse bomb will stick it. Will pick up 2 kills. And Fury matching it as well. And the Justice are looking to close it out. They have the first tick down. They're going for the second. Will they be able to finish it off? It looks like they will, and they will take down Toronto in 3 straight maps in a just absolutely dominating performance.
Wow. Hey, John, when does Toronto play today? I mean, the Justice looking straight up dominant in this series, guys. If you're Justice fans, let's see some Justices served in chat. Justice fought hard in this series. They took it home. They dominated. That's a 3-0 on the board. A very strong performance throughout. John, they looked good yesterday, but they looked really good today.
Joey, this team grows from day to day. It's absolutely insane. Justice fans, I hope you're paying attention. This is a special team. This roster is absolutely insane. If you were watching the pregame show over on Watchpoint when today's matches started, we heard them talk about this Justice roster, about how they're not just one of the best teams in the West, they're one of the best teams in the world right now. And a good sign of how great of a team is their ability to grow from match to match, from day to day, from week to week, learning from those mistakes. And this team is just so special. It's absolutely insane to watch this team. We are so spoiled with this lineup. It feels good. It feels good, right, Justice fans? It feels good to be 4-0, clinching that #1 seed for the May Melee. Joey, I'm so hyped right now. So hyped.
#1 seed clinched, but John, that is just the beginning. We're not going to stop there. We're going to run May Melee, and then we're going to keep pushing on toward that championship. This team is here to stay. I believe Tina mentioned it in chat. We mentioned how the Justice are continuing to improve series after series, but Tina going even deeper and saying map after map, the adjustments being made every single map throughout a series, they've just continued to grow. They might drop a little bit here and there, but they always find the way to pick the pieces back up and finish things off. And so far, kicking things off with a 4-0 season start.
Absolutely. Such a great start to the season. 4-0. It feels so good. It feels so good. We'll take a look to see who they're going to go ahead and call as the player of the match. I think I know who it's going to be. It's everyone's favorite Tracer.
I mean, it's honestly so hard to call a player of the match for this series. Like, Decay popped off, but Decay always pops off. Decay is just expected to pop off. Mag, phenomenal as well. I think you have to look toward Assassins too, though. I mean, Assassin, just the EMP denials this game have been huge, both through his own EMP as a Sombra, but also getting those hacks off at perfect timing. I feel like he played super effective today as well.
Absolutely. It was an all-around amazing performance by the Washington Justice once again. Again, it's hard to believe a lot of people thought that this match would go 5 games. I mean, Joey, I was one of them. I thought this could easily go the distance. It could go all 5 maps. And then here we are sitting after 3. Joey, it was a 2-0 for the first map in Oasis, a 2-0 in Anubis, and it was a 1-0 at Blizzard World. I mean,
I don't even know if we went a full half an hour.
No, I mean, like, Watchpoint was kind of joking about it before our match started here. But they're talking about how the San Francisco match against the Florida Mayhem was so quick. It felt like it was like maybe 5 minutes. Joey, I hate to break it to our friends over on Watchpoint, but I feel like this matchup was even faster than that San Francisco matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this was super fast. It's just tough. Like, the Justice are just so good in this match. Like, we didn't even see a single point capture for the Defiant on Anubis. We didn't see a single point captured for them on Blizzard World. And no offense to the Defiant, I think the Justice are one of the best teams in the league, and I think they show it here, locking up that #1 seed. They're just playing dominantly on offense. They're doing a very good job there. I believe they gave up 1 capture point, and they ended up taking it back and dropping that out as well. So just completely annihilating the Defiant here, defensively, offensively. They're just such a strong team. And I mean, regardless of what team is going up against them, they're going to struggle up against this Justice side.
Absolutely. So, just real quick before we throw it to our post-game press conference, just a reminder, our next upcoming Justice co-stream will be the 22nd of May, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That is a Saturday. Check your time zones accordingly for our viewers all over the world tuning in to cheer the Justice on. The May Melee will be taking place on the official Blizzard, the official Overwatch League stream on YouTube, so definitely check that out. Then there'll be a week layoff there. Then we'll be right back for more Justice action. After that, we'll be going up against our friends in Paris.
Paris. We'll see what we can bring up against them. But yeah, we do have some matches coming up. But before that, May Melee. And John, what seed are we in May Melee?
I believe we're we're definitely not 2nd seed. We're not 3rd seed. We definitely smoked away 4th seed. Yeah, we're number 1. We're number 1. Number 1 going to the May Melee for the West. I like the sound of that Justice being served left and right. It feels good. Feels good.
#1 seed in May Melee, #1 seed in your hearts, guys. This Justice team, as John said, is one to watch this season. Whether you're looking at the potential MVP of Decay, whether you're looking at some of the Rookie of the Year candidates in Mag and Assassin, some of the best veteran tanks in the league also reside here in Fury. This support line proving critics wrong. You have Jerry, you have Assassin. This whole team is so talented, John, and so deep in so many roles. We do only have 2 support players, but that's all we need, as Closer and Bebe are getting the job done so far this season. This is going to be a special season for us Justice fans.
All right, so here is your notice, Justice fans. If you have other friends who are watching and cheering on the Justice, maybe you want to show someone the Justice the first time to them, now is the chance to go grab them. We're going to throw it to a very quick break. On the other side, Bebe will be joining us from your 4-0 Washington Justice. Will be joining us here on the post-match press conference. It will be probably roughly about 3 to 4 minutes before we could get Bebe on here, but we'll be back asking some questions, get a chance to know Bebe a little bit more, and that is only happening here on the official co-stream of the Washington Justice here on the Washington Justice YouTube channel. So go tell all your friends. We're going to throw it to a very quick break. On the other side, Bebe will be joining us. everyone. Welcome back to the post-match press conference. We are joined by your 4-0 Washington Justice support player, Bebe. Bebe, thank you so much for joining us. First off, congratulations, 4-0 to start the season and the #1 seed for the May Melee. How are you feeling after that match?
일단 4대0으로 이번에 시즌을 시작하게 되는데 이번 이기신 거 정말 축하드리고요. 그리고 저희가 이제 메이멜레이에 진출하게 되었습니다. 이번 경기 아니면 지금 소감 어떠신가요?
저희가 4승 0패로 그 1등인가? 그래서 1등인 걸로 알고 있는데 1등으로 이제 시드를 받고 토너먼트에 진출해서 너무 기쁘고 행복합니다.
So yeah, I'm so happy that we're starting our season with a 4-0, and then also I feel really great that I qualified for May Malay, and then we got the first seed. Yeah, I feel so great.
All right, so first I just want to touch on Anubis real quick. It feels like this team continues to grow from match to match. Anubis was a map that the Justice struggled on earlier in the season, but today it was a very dominating performance. What changed in your tactics going into Anubis?
정말 보면 볼수록 저희가 경기 하나하나 시작될 때마다 워싱턴 저스티스 팀이 정말 성장하고 있다는 느낌이 들어요. 사실 초반에는 아누비스 맵을 했을 때 워싱턴이 조금 힘들다 이런 느낌이었는데 오늘 같은 경우에는 정말 두들겨 잘 팼습니다. 어떻게 그런 전술이나 뭐가 바뀌어서 그런 일이 일어났을까요?
저번 경기에서 아누비스에서 저희가 경기 끝나고 피드백하고 이제 그 피드백 한 걸로 스크림에서 적용시키고 이제 하다 보니까 좋은 결과가 나와서 이번에도 좋은 결과가 나온 것 같아요. 대회 때도.
Yeah, so after the last match, we played Anubis, and then we had a lot of feedback with our coaches, and we tried to analyze what we did and what the wrong parts, and then we changed it to positively. We changed the tactics, and then we also tried that what we got given from the feedback, and we utilized it well. So that's what happened.
It was a very, very great performance there. We love watching this team continue to grow match in and match out. Now, just real quick, as a support player, obviously your main job is to provide healing for the team. Do you feel like the current double bubble and rush meta favored meta makes that an easier job for you, or do you feel like this current meta makes healing and supporting your team a little bit more challenging?
네, 저희가 보기에도 경기에서 경기를 거듭할수록 정말 성장하고 있다는 느낌이 드는데요. 베베 선수가 이제 힐러잖아요. 현재 윈자나 러쉬를 선호하는 메타인데 힐러한테 이런 메타가 어떤가요?
힐러한테 딱히 뭐 어려운 메타인 건 모르겠고 그냥 메타를 어떻게 힐러든 탱커든 딜러든 그냥 포지션에 맞게 역할을 잘 수행하는 게 중요한 것 같아요.
Well, I don't know if the current meta is easy or difficult to support. Whether you're DPS player, support, or tank player, it's the most important thing is you have to play your role.
Definitely agreed. That role being great so far for the Washington Justice. So another thing here, Bebe, joined us on the post-game show last week and spoke highly of your in-game play and ultimate management, especially on that 6-minute hold on Hanamura against Dallas. Is it a challenge to remain calm and collected when you have your ultimate ready, or does that come kind of naturally to you?
네, 저번에 이제 달라스전에서 하나무라 때 달라스 공격 때 달라스가 1포 밀고 2포 때 6분이나 있었잖아요. 이렇게 어떻게 그렇게 궁 활용이나 그런 걸 잘 하셨는지.
그냥 상대 궁이나 우리 궁 약간 비교해서 상대하고 좀 센 궁이 있으면 뭐 나노 같은 건 카운터용으로 쓰고 네, 그런 궁이 없다 하면은 그냥 나노 뭐 다이브 하고 뭐 이런 여러 가지 용도로 써였던 것 같아요.
So I try to compare like what we have in terms of ults, what kind of ults they have, the enemy team. So and then when the enemy team had ult, then I try to counter to their ult with nano, and then when they didn't have ult, then I try to dive in with nano. So yeah, I utilize well.
Absolutely. It has been a huge difference maker so far this season. The other thing here, so coming into the new season, critics were having a hard time finding weaknesses on the Justice roster. So it kind of defaulted to them criticizing the supports. Do you feel like you and Closer have started to prove the critics that the Justice supports are quite good and can compete with the best in the league so far?
네, 정말 말씀해주신 것처럼 커다란 그런 작용을 했던 것 같습니다. 그리고 저희가 시즌 시작 전에도 저스티스 로스터에 대해 이런저런 말 비난과 비평이 사실 있었어요. 힐러에 관해서도 그런 평가가 있었는데 어떻게 본인 베베 선수랑 클로저 선수가 이런 저평가를 뒤집어볼 만한 실력을 좀 보여줬다고 생각하시나요?
그래도 조금은 보여줬다 생각하는데 아직 보여줄 게 더 많이 있다고 생각합니다.
Well, I think I proved it a little, but I think I have still a lot of things to show.
Yeah, I will say I like that hunger as well, but you have definitely done a very good job for us here, Justice fans. We're very happy with the way you and Closer have been playing so far and are very excited to watch you guys continue to grow throughout the season.
So what we'll do,
네, 정말
sorry, go ahead.
네, 정말 그렇게 열심히 달리는 모습이 항상 그렇게 뭔가 갈구하는 모습이 정말 대단하고 하는데요. 그래도 클로저 선수랑 베베 선수가 보여준 모습이 정말 대단하다고 생각합니다.
Thank you.
All right, so we don't want to keep you too long. We want to let you go ahead and get back to the rest of your teammates so you guys can celebrate that 4-0 start and get ready for that May Melee as you guys are going into the as the number one seed. So just want to wrap it up real quick. We have people viewing this stream all over the world right now that are supporting you and the Washington Justice. I know as a Justice fan, I feel incredible watching this team come together. Do you have anything that you would like to say to the Justice fans around the world that are there supporting and cheering you on?
네, 첫 번째 시드 받으신 거 정말 축하드리고 저희가 이제 승리했으니 너무 베베 선수를 너무 오래 잡아두지 않겠습니다. 그래서 마지막으로 여러 각국에서 저스티스와 베베 선수를 응원해 주시고 계신 분들께 마지막 한마디 부탁드립니다.
응원해 주신 분들 모두 감사합니다.
Thank you so much for cheering us.
All right, baby. Thank you so much for joining us here on the post-match press conference. Again, congratulations to the 4-0 start, and we cannot wait to tune in this weekend when the Washington Justice go into the May Melee.
네, 메이 멜레이에 진출하신 거 정말 축하드리고 이번에 2대0 승리도 정말 축하드립니다.
Thank you.
All right, Justice fans, just a reminder, our next official co-stream will be coming up on May 22nd, 3 p.m. That is a Saturday. Check your time zones and account for that. And we will see you back here on the 22nd as the Washington Justice look to continue their hot start to the Overwatch League season against the Paris Eternal. Joey, I don't know about you. I am absolutely just in love with this team. It is such a great roster, such a great group of guys. This team just gets me so fired up. I feel like I could go run 5 miles right now and still have enough energy to carry on the rest of my evening. I am just so fired up, and it was such a great benchmark moment here going up against Toronto. Even though the Justice felt like they it felt like the Justice didn't struggle at all against Toronto. Toronto didn't have an answer to anything the Justice threw at them. It just felt like the Justice were the better prepared team, even though they just had a game yesterday and Toronto had a whole week to prepare.
Yeah, it feels like this Justice team, again, we've talked about it so far tonight multiple times. They've just improved series over series, map over map. They continue to bring new strategies to maps like we saw in Anubis. They continue to prove while you have rookie candidates, while you have MVP candidates, while you have potentially one of the best tank lines in all of Overwatch League, you've secured the #1 spot heading into May Melee. If there's any team to look out for so far early on in the season, it is the Justice team. And Bebe wouldn't say it, but I really do think they are silencing critics already. You've seen opinions change on the desk of the Overwatch League, on bloggers. They're starting to look at this Justice support line a lot more than they did originally, thinking, oh, we got to find a weakness for this team. Let's just make it the supports. They've come out and they've answered. The ultimate usage has been so effective by Bebe. The healing coming out from Closer and Bebe has been very strong as well. This Justice team, they just want to try to find a weakness, but so far there's not too many weaknesses to identify as this team just gets stronger and stronger week over week.
It is so good. Just looking at the current standings here real quick. The Justice are currently tied for #1 overall in the entire league with the Philadelphia Fusion. Philadelphia Fusion in the Eastern Division, even though they're like 3 hours up north from us. But anywho, both 4-0, and we're tied with map differential at a +9 map differential. So the Philadelphia Fusion will be #1 on the Eastern Division for the May Melee, and the Washington Justice the #1 seed on the Western side as well. And Daylight, just to answer your question, unfortunately, there will not be a co-stream for the May Melee tournament. You will have to tune in to the official Overwatch League stream for that. But don't worry, we will be back, like we said, here for you on May 22nd. We are so hyped to be watching the May Melee with everyone in the Justice family there on the YouTube channel for the Overwatch League as well. So we will be there with everyone. Who knows? Maybe we'll stop by at one of the Vice and Virtue watch parties there and get involved there and chat up with some fans as well. But we will definitely be back here on the co-stream when the regular season picks back up again. But Joey, I feel like we need to take this energy, this hype, this everything that we have from an amazing week of Overwatch League. Let's take that into this weekend. Let's absolutely rock out, and I'm ready to celebrate this entire weekend.
Absolutely, Justice fans. Post it on Twitter. Justice is served. Use the hashtag, like those tweets. Go out there and spread the Justice love because we're sitting at 4-0. We secured that #1 seed going into May Melee. We are fans of the top team in the league right now, and it's a great place to be.
All right, so that will do it for today's stream. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not already doing so, hit that sub button here on the Washington Justice YouTube channel so you can get all the up-to-date content. They are pushing out content left and right. You want to be in the know, and this is the place to be in the know. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you on May 22nd for the next official co-stream against the Paris Eternal, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, he's Courtside King. My name is Fiasco. Have a great night.